Let us have this time system.out.printf. So this is another example of a Java output. We use now printf. So with printf, it gives you an easy way to print nicer output by combining text, variables, and other values. Like for example, this code. In this code, we have declared three variables, that is days, month, and temperature, such that a month is a string, days is an integer, and temperature is global. And we specify or we assign values to this variable, like 31 for days, July for month, and 85.3 for temperature. Now, we will display these values in a formatted way. Like we have this is the fixed string that will be displayed, %d, that means you're going to display an integer in between of the word there are and days, and %s is a string, then /n, it will jump to the next line, comma, calling now the variable that will be placed to this one, to this %d, which is days, and %s, which is a string, will be the value of month. So the first value to declared right after comma will be the first also value that you have called here. So this is an integer, therefore it's also an integer here. And s is a string, therefore it's also an s right after the second variable that you have declared. System.out.printf, average temperature is %s, that's again another string, colon, and then %f. F is double. So anything that has something to do with the decimal places, it will be catered by %f. So degrees, then /n, then we have now the value of our s will be filled by the variable month, and the value of our %f will be the value of the temperature, which is 85.3. So as expected, the value will be, or the output will be, there are 31 days in July. Average temperature in July is 85.3000 degrees. Now, why is it 300? How many zeros is this? 2, 4, 5. 5 zeros, because we just simply called now the double format of temperature, and the value of temperature is 85.3, and we did not limit or format the kind of decimal places that it will be displayed on the result value. So let us try this one in the environment of Eclipse if it will display the same value. This is now the code in the Eclipse environment. So we have, all right, going back. So this is the variables that we have declared, days, month, and temperature, and those values that we have assigned. So we will display in a way that the format will be there are calling the value of days, which is 31, in string value of month, July, then average temperature in July, because that's the value of s, which is this one, and %f, which is double, calling now the value of temperature. So let's run the program. Okay, there you have. There are 31 days in July. Average temperature in July is, then colon 85, 30, then 50 degrees. So you have 31 is our value of days, and that is displayed because of the percentage d. And in July, which is a string, that is displayed by releasing the command %s. And then you have average in July, again we have %s, and then %f right after the colon that's called out now the value of temperature, but it displays additional 3 zeros because of the natural because of the property of double format. Okay, how do you call the %d, %f, %s? So these are called as format specifiers. So again, we have %d, %f, %s are called format specifiers. A format specifier must match the value that will be printed. So we have %d, that's int, meaning you're going to call now int variable or value. And then we have %f for double or float or any decimal value or any value that has a decimal places. And then %s for string, %c for char or character, and %b for boolean. So let us have an example. Okay, in this example, we did not limit the value we place to that of the format specifier. That's just exclusively a variable. So in this example, we also have a direct value of the format specifier that we have. So for example, we have these, we define days, or we declare days, or we have a variable named days, and we assign the value 31. Now, for the second format specifier of a string, we did not call a variable, rather we immediately place a value into it. Like, since it's a string, we put now a value of the variable 2, or of the value right after that of the second variable. So you have July, and July will be placed to that of the %s. And then for the second one, we call the value of s again here, %s, calling the value of month because of the month year that we declared first. So it's declared first, therefore it will be the one to be called out by percent format specifier that we have. And then for the second one, which is %f, that would be the expression we immediately place right after that comma, and it will perform that expression without placing it, without assigning it into a variable. So we have 85.1 plus 85.5 divided by 2.0, and it will give you a value of 83 point, let us see what's the result. 85.3 and 5 value, or 5 decimal places. So in this example, we did not limit the value that you are going to call here, the variable that you are going to call here. Like days is a variable, but we can also assign immediately exact value of what will be the type of output that you will display of that format specifier that you would have, so long as it's correctly identified or correctly expressed. So, okay. Specifying the width. Okay, we have, after the %sign, you can put a number specifying the minimum width for that value. For example, %5d means allocate at least 5 spaces for that int. %10s means allocate at least 10 spaces for that string. %7f means allocate at least 7 spaces for that double. And then %7.2 means allocate at least 7 spaces for the double, but only 2 after the decimal point. So %.2 F means allocate as many spaces as needed for that double, but only 2 after the decimal point. Note that the word at least in the above explanation. So if you specify a certain width, but the value actually needs more with that than that in order to be specified, it will be given the width that is needed. So for example, if you use %10s but the string has 15 characters, then all 15 characters will be printed. So it does not limit, let's say for example, that you just put now 10, and then the number of characters that will be displayed is 25, then the all 25 characters will be displayed. Okay, in this example, we did not specify the number of decimal value right after the decimal place. So we have, let's say for example, we will limit into 2. So that would just be 0.2 for degrees, so that it will just display 0.2 decimal value right after the decimal place. So let's see. There you have 0.3 30 instead of 5 decimal places. If we want, then you would have 1 decimal value also. So there's no need to put 5. Let's say, for example, if I have 1 here and you have 2 value of your decimal place, again, it will still display that 85. Okay, still it displays now 85. So only this part here, if I would have 3, then there will be 3 decimal places. There you have now 3. So that's how you're going to use now, or how you're going to format